Hi guys, you're welcome back to my channel. So we'll be learning how to make this beautiful sleeve. If you want to know how to make this, then keep watching. So these are the materials we need to make our sleeve. We need our net, we need our Ankara fabric, and we need lining. So the first thing to do is to draft our sleeve pattern. So the length I used is 23 inches. I used 23 inches for the sleeve length, and then I marked out my round sleeve for my 3-point. So I cut that out because this is not a sleeve class. So all you need to do basically is to cut out your sleeve pattern, and the next thing to do is to cut out our Ankara fabric for the upper part. So the length I used for this is 19 inches. Guys, this is not a constant. Now this depends on you. It depends on how big you want your sleeve to be. So I used 19 inches for mine, and for the width I used 13 inches. This is not a constant too. It depends on how big or how small you want your sleeve to be. So I used 19 inches and 13 inches. So I notched the upper part so I would know the upper parts when I'm working with it. So I've done the same thing for the lining. I cut out the same measurement, 19 by 13 inches for the lining as well. And I'm going to notch the upper part too, so I'll know when to work with it. So the next thing to do is to add interfacing to our fabric. This will give us more, it will give the fabric more strength so that we can have a beautiful puff. So what we are going to do now is to turn the down part of the fabric. That's what we are doing now. We are turning the down part of the fabric. Guys, give this video a thumbs up, drop a comment if you're enjoying the video, and most importantly, subscribe to my channel. So the down part has been turned already. The next thing to do is to turn both sides too. We are turning both sides. So I've already cut that out, so this is done already. So we have the both sides have been turned, so we have the upper part left. So that for the upper part, we are not going to turn it. We are going to just run a stitch on it. Then after running a stitch, we are going to weave it to make it neat. Subscribe to my channel. We have other videos loading, and trust me, you will enjoy my channel. So once that is done, I cut out the excess lining from the upper part, and I'm doing that now, and then I'll go ahead and weave that upper part. So we'll go ahead and weave the upper part to make it neat. Now that is done, all done, you can see how neat it is. So the next thing to do now is to bend the edge of our sleeve. Now if you want your sleeve to have the selvage, then you completely need to skip out this part. That's if you want the selvage of the net for the sleeve. But if you don't have the selvage, then you need to turn the edge. So that is what I'm doing now. I'm turning the edge of my sleeve neatly. So guys, give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, drop a comment, subscribe to my channel. So I'm turning the sleeve now. Now the next thing that I'm going to do is to fold the sleeve into two. Fold it to the right side of the sleeve, and then you mark out your round sleeve measurement. As I'm doing that, mark out your round sleeve measurement, then you turn it over to the other side and do the same thing. Mark out your round sleeve measurement. So once that is done, the next thing we are going to do is to mark out the number of inches we want to leave out at the upper part. So we are going to trace that out towards the edge, and then you give it a notch. This will let us know the point where we are placing the other fabric. Go ahead and give it a notch, and then the next thing we are going to do is to open up the sleeve and lay it flat on the table. And as you are doing that, you have to make sure that the right side of the fabric is facing you. Make sure the right side is facing you on the table. Then the next thing you will do is to place the other fabric on it. Take note of the weaved part, that is the upper part we'll be working with. So place it on the net and then you flip it over to the other side like so. You flip it over like so, and then you go ahead and place it on your notched line. Place it on your notched line. Now remember that you made a marking for your round sleeve, so locate your marking on the net and place your other fabric at that point, and then you pin. That is what we are going to do. Now you have to make sure that you do not pin exactly on the point. Leave out about 1/4 of an inch. So go ahead and do the same thing on the other side as well. Locate your line and then you place it about 2 inch to about 1/4 of an inch away from the marking. This is because by the time we want to join our round sleeve, we do not want our stitch to run over the upper fabric, so place it about 1/4 of an inch away and pin it. So once that is done, the next thing we are going to do is to run a stitch over the fabric. That is what we are going to do. So as you are running the stitch over it, we are going to be pleating the upper fabric. So this is because we have it in excess and this will let us have a bigger puff. So that is what we are going to do now. You are going to run a stitch over it and you pleat as you go. You continue pleating until you exhaust the upper fabric. Guys, give this video a thumbs up if you are enjoying it. Drop a comment and subscribe to my channel. Thank you. So you continue pleating until you exhaust the upper fabric. This will give us a big puff and it will make our sleeve come out even more beautiful. So now I'm done with my pleat. You can see how beautiful it looks. So what you're going to do is to flip it back and you can see what mine looks like. See how beautiful it is. Our sleeve is coming out. You can see the upper part that we left out and then you can see how beautiful our sleeve is. So the next thing to do is to make a casing for our elastic. So for this part I marked out 4 inches from the down part upwards. Now this part is also not a constant because you determine how big or small your extra flap will be. So for mine I used 4 inches and I'll be making a stitch all the way at that point. So I'm going to make a second stitch and that will be about 1/2 inch away from the first one upwards. So that is where my second stitch is going to be. So I'll be running my second stitch now, and with that our elastic casing is all done. So guys, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. So the next thing we are going to do after making this casing is to pass in our elastic. I've already opened up a little part of that casing area to fit in my elastic, so I'll be passing my elastic through that point. Now that is all done. You can see how beautiful that came out. Beautiful, guys. And then check the other side as well. Beautiful and neat, you can see. So our elastic casing, our elastic part is done. Now the next thing we are going to do is to fold that part, that upper fabric, into 2, and we are going to be running a stitch from top to bottom of it. The stitch we are running is about 1/2 inch. So all we need to do is to just run. There's no measurement for that part. You can just run just 1/2 an inch all the way down on that part. So once that is done, then our upper part is done. Then we'll be moving over now to the other sleeve. You know, this is, we have 2 sleeves now, so we'll be moving over to the next part. And at this point you should have marked out your round sleeve measurement by now. So all you need to do is to wrap it around the first one. Wrap it around the first one. Super easy, guys. Just wrap it around and run a stitch over it. Now, as you are doing this, you have to make sure that the inner one is not coming out, so you have to push it in well so that the stitch doesn't run over it, because this will make it difficult for the sleeve to be turned out. So just run a stitch over your net, and with that the sleeve part is done. So the next thing we are going to do is to be turning both out to the right side. So all you need to do is to pull it out to the right side, pull both out and turn to the right side. Turn to the right side as I'm doing. Just turn both to the right side. The inner one too has to be turned to the right side, and with that the sleeve is done. Now you can see how beautiful the sleeve came out. You can see how beautiful it is. So, and this is the final look when joined to the fabric. Guys, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. We have other videos loading. Bye.